Hey, what's going on, Victorious Army? Victorious family? Because we family around here, right? Yeah. Okay, well, so in today's vlog, I just want to talk about choices, you know? Because that's what it comes down to, No matter what happens, you always have a choice, you know? Um, Even example, story time, kinda. Kinda story time. So, the things I went through with my life, right? My father was a very angry, confused, hurt, and broken down person who only thought it was the best thing he could do was just hurt others around him because of it, right? A little bit more detail on that. So my father decided it would be a great idea to beat me with a 2x4 in multiple different occasions. Well, that was his choice, right? Because my mom also gave me a little backstory on his past. And he had a very crappy, shitty childhood too. And well, because he chose not to let that go, because he chose to just stay the same as he was, given how bad things were for him, he ended up doing that to me, right? Because, I mean, I can't sit here and just be like, oh, he's evil for no reason, and all he wanted to do is just beat me down, right? I mean, there are things that happened to why he is or was the way he was. But the thing about it is, right, he chose to just keep that. He chose to hold on to all of that pain he took from his childhood and instead just destroy me because of what someone else did to him in his life, you know? Because he was raised by his aunt and uncle, so he didn't know his parents. That alone is pretty terrible, to be honest. And his aunt and uncle were some seriously fucked up people, to say the least. Right? Judging by how he was towards me, as a child back then, and judging how he just went around and acted of his own fruition. Fruition. I don't know if that's the word, but but right, after a while, you got to really think about stuff, you know, because they're no longer here, right? His aunt and uncle didn't make him pick up a 2x4, you know, and beat the shit out of me with it. His lack of parents didn't make him sexually assault me, you know. Only he chose that, right? He chose to go get the 2x4. He chose to hit me in the privates with the belt. He chose to do what he did. And at the end of the day, right, no matter what somebody else did to you, no matter what happens in your life, after these things happen, right, of course they hurt. Of course it sucks. Whoever wants to go through that type of shit. I know I certainly don't, and I know I certainly didn't want to go through what I had to go through, right? Who does? But at the end of the day, it's your choice, right? So also on choices, right? I could have chose to just be an angry, pissed off, hurt, broken man just like he was, right? I could have chose that, right? And that would have been my choice. It would have been my choice to stay like that. It would have been my choice just to be mean and angry at the world because of what certain people decided to do to me because they chose to do it, right? So it's your choice no matter what. Maybe initially you can't choose what happened to you, and maybe you can't have that choice, your own type of choice for a while, but at the point where you can now choose to maneuver in your own manner and way, then that's when you can choose, right? You can choose just to stay the same person. You can choose to hold on to that anger and sadness and all those terrible feelings, or you can choose to go a different way, right? It's simply your choice. I heard that life is 5% of what happens to you, but 95% what you choose to do, right? I think I'm gonna give another example, right? Just like you can choose to go to Walmart, you can choose to go to Target, right? Or you can choose to order something online, right? It's all a choice, right? I mean, your choice can be something as simple as, I don't know, putting pickles on your burger, right? Putting sausage instead of pepperoni on your pizza. I don't know, right? It's a choice. But the thing is, right, now after a certain point, I realize I have to make certain choices within my life. And sure, maybe a little bit simple choices, of course, but when it comes to larger things, right? When it comes to the more important decisions you have to make in your life, right? Those choices are going to matter, right? And they're going to reflect on you and your family. Choices you decide to make. So this is why it's the best idea to really think about the choices you want to make. Be very calculated in taking these choices, especially when they have huge life outcomes to what'll happen to you, what'll happen to your family, what'll happen to people around you, right? It's your choices. You must choose wisely. Choose smartly, right? You know, Maybe certain choices you can make now will grant you some pretty awesome things up front initially, but what about the long run, right? What about the longer end of things? What about later on, like weeks, months, years from now? The choices you decide to make, right? Because at this point for me, there are a lot of choices that I have to make now and I have to make in the future here. And depending on the choices I decide to go with will ultimately determine my outcome. It's a fairly simple concept overall, but it's a very important one. Choices, your choices. Because now, um, like I said, after what my father did to me and then me getting molested by a kid that thought it was funny to intentionally make someone a homosexual, things like that, right? Now, after, they're gone, the things that happened, they still happened, but they're all gone from me. I don't have to deal with them no more. Only if I choose to hold on to all these things in that certain manner, right? In that angry, sad, messed up manner, right? Only if I choose to hold on to that, right? But now, after, taking a couple steps back, moving out of my emotion of the situations, because it's hard initially, right? But I guess that's why it takes time for you to really start to come at things with a clear mind the best you can. Really come at it with cool calmness of mind and being able to look through your look through the different experiences you had. Taking that step back from the emotions, because always it's gonna hit you in the emotions when stuff like that happens. But right, like I said, now that they're gone, now that I'm here by myself, I'm on my own fruition. I don't know if that's the word to use, but right now that I'm here and I have to make choices for myself, right? I now must weigh out what's going on, right? Like I just said, they're not here no more, right? What happened happened. Can't take away what's already happened, but you can surely change what's gonna happen or what could happen. So, even though it may be hard in either direction, you might as well make the best choices for you, right? Because that's what it all comes down to, right? Different people can tell you, oh, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that, right? But if you don't necessarily agree with them, right, agree with those choices that other people want you to do, Why would you do that, right? Because that could lead you to a detriment of your own, right? Because now I have to be responsible for me, regardless of what someone else tells me, regardless of how someone thinks I should handle a situation. Now, I guess unless that resonates with me as far as what they say, right? It doesn't necessarily matter because the choices you have to make are the choices that are best going to help you, that are best going to put you at the advantage and position you for something greater. So, I I think one of the best ways to make your choices is weighing it against your heart. Like I said earlier, really thinking it through, thinking about the things you can do, whether you can, go and get something now or you can wait till later, right? Just really making the smartest decisions you can. Because ultimately, if things go badly, if things fly off to the left, right, or something, right, you have no one else to blame, no one else to look at sideways but yourself, right? Even if someone told you that this is the best decision that you should make, and this, and that, and it doesn't go well for you, right? Well, you chose to trust what they said as far as making your decision. Not to say that other people don't have, you know, good advice on certain situations, but the thing is, right, you must make those choices for you, regardless. You must put yourself first when it comes to choices that you have to make and you have to go through and situations that you have to be a part of, right? So, that's pretty much it for today. But those choices are very important. You always have a choice. You always must believe that you have a choice as well, because that is very important. Because once again, it is you that has to go through the situation. It is you that has to live with the choices you make too. So just really take under consideration your choices and what you choose to do. Right? Like I said earlier, from something small, like pickles on your burger, sausage on your pizza, right? There's something big like life decisions, like what house should I move to, or you know, what should I do to go about making money or something, right? It's just all dependent upon you, because once again, you have to live with the consequences. And the other thing about consequences is consequences don't necessarily have to be so bad, right? It's just that the word is always used in a negative situation, right? But it's all dependent upon you, right? So that's my little bit on choices. You must choose to choose. It's gonna be ridiculous now, but you must choose the best for you. Consider yourself and all the choices you make. Consider what'll happen to those around you and the choices you make as well. So that's pretty much it. I hope everybody's having a decent day, decent week, decent month, despite all the craziness going on. Right. Oh, I guess one more little thing, right? About the craziness going on, right? You can choose to look into that more. You can choose to focus your attention on that, but you can also choose to not pay attention to it. You can choose to do your own thing, go your own way. So, that's all I got. So, lead yourself to your greatest victory. Always lead yourself to your greatest victory. Peace.